I'm excited to share with you today a recipe that I have been making for over 20 years. The recipe is a chicken enchilada quiche, and it came from the very first competition cooking show that I can recall watching on TV, the Pillsbury Bake-Off. Welcome back to Nancy's Homestyle Kitchen, where I share how to cook real food with simple ingredients and no pressure to be perfect. Let's go over all the ingredients you're going to need to make this wonderful chicken enchilada quiche. Of course, because this came from the Pillsbury Bake-Off, we are going to be using a refrigerated Pillsbury pie crust. 2 come in the box. I just pulled one out for this recipe, and I tossed the other one in the freezer to use at another time. You're going to need 4 eggs. The recipe originally calls for chicken packed in water in a can. This is 12.5 ounces. I prefer to shred my own chicken, so I have just 12.5 ounces of shredded chicken breasts. You're going to need 1 cup of half and half or milk. I prefer using half and half. A can of diced green chilies, 2 cups of shredded Monterey Jack, and 1 cup of shredded cheddar. We're going to need 1 cup of salsa. I don't know why, but I have been using this Newman's Original Salsa ever since I started making this recipe, and I've just stuck with it because it turns out great. Some salt and pepper, and finally you're going to need 1.5 cups of crushed up tortilla chips. So just for reference, this is a quart-sized freezer bag. I filled the entire freezer bag up with tortilla chips and just crushed it up, and it equals roughly 1.5 cups. So just for reference, you can kind of get a visual on how many tortilla chips you're gonna need. So the first thing we need to do is par bake our pie crust. The pie crust comes out in just a nice little roll right out of the package. You wanna let it set out for about 15 to 20 minutes to come to room temperature. And then I just have a little bit of all-purpose flour, and I am just going to lightly flour my surface here because this pie crust isn't quite wide enough just to fit in my pan and give me the nice little fluted edge. So I'm gonna roll it out just a tiny bit. So flour the surface, roll out your crust, and then I just like to put a little on my hands and kind of run it through my rolling pin, just a little on top. And again, I'm just lightly rolling it out so it is just a bit bigger. I have circles on my thing here. What does it say? 12 inches. So gives you a reference point. My pie dish is 9-inch in diameter, and I measure that from the inside of the lip of the pie dish to the outside. Take your rolling pin and just kind of lightly roll the pie crust around it. Move it off to the edge. Here is my deep dish pie dish. You do want a deep dish pan for this because there is quite a bit of filling in here. Just roll this out and then gently just lay it in there. And you'll see it's just gonna be just enough to kind of go over the sides, and that's what I want. I don't want a ton of crust hanging off the sides because then we're just gonna cut it off. I do have some extra here, so this extra pie crust here, I'm just gonna cut like the tiniest bit off. I'll show you here, because I just don't want like one side to have a big old hunk of pie crust on it and not on the other. I mean, you can see that's nothing. So then once you have it all in here as even as you can, just go around the edges and pinch it to make a little fluted design. Okay, so here's our pie crust. Now we want to take a fork and we just want to dock the bottom of the pie crust, which means you're just poking some holes in there so that when we par bake it or blind bake it, that it's not going to get puffy on the bottom. So I just did about 20 holes or so. Take a piece of foil. And just kind of tuck it in. Now you can buy fancy pie weights. I just use beans because they're really cheap. I use them over and over again. And I just keep them stored in a mason jar, and I've labeled it pie weights, so I know to never grab it on accident and try to make baked beans with it. So this is gonna give the crust a head start on cooking because we want a nice flaky crust. And these beans, or the pie weights, are gonna hold everything in place so the crust doesn't like start collapsing. Now that we have our pie crust ready, I'm gonna go ahead and pop it into my oven, which I have preheated to 350 degrees. I'm gonna bake it for 10 minutes. Then I'm going to remove the foil in the pie weights, bake it for an additional 8 minutes. And while that's baking, we'll go ahead and start getting the filling together. As you can see, my crust is out of the oven and it's cooling slightly. I also have my beans, or my pie weights, just over on that piece of foil that I used in the bottom of the crust. Just spread it out. I'm just gonna let them completely cool, throw them back in the mason jar, and I have them for the next time. So while the par baked crust is cooling just a bit, we're gonna go ahead and do the filling. So in this bowl, I have 4 eggs. And to that, I'm gonna add 1 cup of half and half. Now you can use half and half, or you can use milk. If you use milk, I would use like a whole milk, because you do want that creamy milk in there for sure. And I like to just whisk these together before I add the rest of the ingredients, so that I know the eggs are completely broken up and incorporated in with the half and half. We're gonna add some salt and pepper. You can just kind of eyeball it. It's equivalent to maybe 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon. And you don't need so much salt. Kind of depends too on the chips that you're using, because I find that some tortilla chips are more salty than others. I'm using Wontonios, which tend to be on the saltier side. That's just the brand I really like. So going with a little less salt is perfect. Then we need 1 cup of salsa, and it calls for a chunky salsa. So let's measure that in here. The rest of this salsa is not gonna go to waste. We can use it to serve with the quiche along with some sour cream. Go ahead and get your salsa in there. And then, because these are wet ingredients, let's go ahead and blend those up really well. I can see some of the chunky tomatoes in there. Now, green chilies, I thoroughly drained the green chilies. You just don't want any extra moisture in the quiche. Now, I'm not gonna use this whisk anymore because all the cheese and everything will get stuck in there. So let's go ahead and just add the chips. You can really put these in any order that you like. So 1.5 cups of crushed tortilla chips. Here is the 12.5 ounces of shredded chicken breast. If you use the can of chicken, just like the green chilies, drain it really, really well. And I have used the can, it turns out fine, but I just prefer my own fresh chicken. Let's go ahead and stir this up, and then the last thing we'll be adding in is all of the cheese. So what I like about this recipe too is the crushed up tortilla chips is what gives it the enchilada flavor. Like it, takes place of the corn tortilla that typically an enchilada would be rolled in. So they're not crunchy at all. It's just the corn tortilla flavor. Okay, again, we have 2 cups of Monterey Jack. I like to shred my own cheese. It melts more evenly than the one in the package. But if you're short on time or you already have cheese that you need to use, just use it. I've done both. So I love a good cooking competition. I don't know if you've ever noticed, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, I always wear this apron. And if you're a cooking competition lover like me, you may recognize this is the official Top Chef apron. That's one of my favorites. I also love the Great British Baking Show. And I would be curious if you wouldn't mind put in the comments, what is your favorite competition show to watch and why? I don't do some of the corny ones. I like more of watching someone who is either a professional chef, like Top Chef, or someone like a home cook, like me, who just goes onto a competition show and just kills it. Those are always fun. But the ones with the same people on it all the time, on one of those networks, kind of not my favorite. So we'll just incorporate all of this cheese. And you can see this is a substantial amount of filling, and it's not runny. It's nice and thick. This is still hot. I can't move it without the hot pads. And you could see how my crust kind of fell down here on the side. I actually could have rolled the crust out a little bit more to do a more fluted edge, but I'm not fancy with this. I just do it because I just want to enjoy it, but I don't worry about stuff like that. So sorry, you're not going to be able to see this really well. And just spread it evenly. It smells so good. I can smell the salsa for sure, but I can also start smelling a hint of the tortilla chips. Okay, and because this is such a deep pan, I'm not worried about this bubbling over in the oven, so I'm just gonna stick it directly on the rack. If your pan is shorter and you feel like it's really full, take some out. Don't fill it all the way up to the top, and then stick a pan underneath it when you're baking it. In case it does bubble over, you don't want it to get all over the bottom of your stove. The quiche is ready to go in the oven, but I have one more thing to share with you before we do so. This is a pie shield, and what you want to do before it's screaming hot and you need to put this on to protect your crust from getting really, really brown, go ahead and form your pie shield right now. Now, if you saw my other quiche video where I share how to make Julia Child's magic quiche recipe, it's a great episode. I was fumbling with this thing because I didn't know how to secure it, and someone in the comments helped me out. Thank you very much, and told me there's a little slot right here where this piece goes in. So now that I know this is the right size, or if you don't have something like this, get some foil and make a little circle kind of in this fashion out of foil. So that way, when you're partway through the baking process and you notice your crust on the edge is getting really brown, you can put this shield over it to prevent it from burning. But we are ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and bake this for about 55 to 60 minutes. And here we have our beautiful chicken enchilada quiche. This took 55 minutes to bake. I went ahead and put the pie shield on at the 30-minute mark. And as you can see, we have a nice golden crust. Now, the pie crust is a little short over here. If I wouldn't have cut that piece off, it would probably be perfect. But I think it's gonna actually make it easier for me to get that first piece out. If you've ever cut pie, you know that first piece is always difficult. So it's been resting for 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and slice it up. Oh my gosh, okay, that did not come out. See what I mean? That first piece, that's what I say in my intro, right? No pressure to be perfect. So let's do it again. Okay, please come out. There we go. Beautiful slice of chicken enchilada quiche. Here is the inside. You can see it's cooked all the way through. The crust is nice and flaky. And to go ahead and serve it, what I like to do is take a little bit of that salsa and put a little bit over the top, down the side, and then if you like, these are both optional, you can take a little dollop of sour cream right on the top. So this is perfect for brunch. If there is somebody that you know that is in need of a home-cooked meal, this is fantastic to bake and take over there because it can be eaten for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. This is just such a good recipe. I highly recommend you give this one a try, just like I'm going to give it a try right now. Get through the crust. I want a little bit of the salsa and the sour cream. I can tell it's cheesy. It's also still pretty hot. Okay, perfect bite coming up. You get the flakiness and butteriness of the pie crust is totally there. Par baking the crust is, I think, the secret to this, to making sure the bottom of your crust is fully cooked. And then the filling, you guys. If you like chicken enchiladas, if you like kind of the old standard chicken enchilada casserole, you're absolutely gonna love this. It's the best of both worlds, enchilada casserole and quiche. As always, I really want to thank you for joining me today. I love sharing recipes like these, especially the ones that have been in my recipe box for many, many years that I make all the time. This is why I like to film this type of content and have my channel, is so that I can share tried and true recipes with my viewers, with my family. It's just a way for me to share something that I absolutely love. If you like this video, please hit the like button, consider subscribing, and I will be back next week with another recipe from my kitchen.